This was a photo of me back in high school. Yes, I had big dreams of becoming a director and making films, but fast forward to many years later, here we are making webtoons. Now that I think about it, being a webtoon creator isn't that far from being a director. So it's like your actors are your characters, your set design is your 3D model, and your camera shots are your panels. If directors use film to tell their stories and writers use words, well, for us, we use panels. And I think in order to tell a good story, it's important to show it well. Don't worry, because in this video, I'm gonna share 6 tips to help you make your panels look more cinematic. Hey guys, it's Reen and welcome back to the Art Cave. I have another webtoon advice for you guys. But before we start, quick disclaimer. These are just my opinions based on what I've gathered through my experience making a webtoon. And also, I'm not a professional webtoon creator. I'm not an original. I'm just someone making stories in their little bubble in webtoon canvas. So don't treat this as like rules that you should follow, but more like suggestions for you to try out. All right, now that that's out of the way, here's what I did to take my panels looking like this to this. Let's go. Tip number 1, use a variety of camera angles. Don't just stick to one angle, which is like the straight on talking head shot. Sometimes it is easier to just draw someone who's facing straight, but it's good to try mixing things up. I use a lot of talking over the shoulder shots because it's perfect for conversation, and yeah, I like to mix it up with close-up shots and establishing shots. Sometimes I even put a panel without any characters on it, just to show the environment while they're talking. Also, a little extra tip, try to think of each panel as like a movie still. That's what I'm trying to tell myself a lot when I'm like storyboarding my panels. So yeah, don't always center your characters, sometimes shift them to the side. Try making use of the rule of thirds, or you can frame them through like windows or doors. Yeah, just to make it more visually appealing. One of the good things about being a webtoon creator is that we kind of have a lot of freedom. We can literally put a camera anywhere without obstructions of the real world, I guess. So we have to use that to our advantage and yeah, make some interesting angles. Tip number 2 is playing with your foreground, middle ground, and your background. So think about depth. Movies always use this to make scenes feel alive. I've had a few panels where I put objects in the foreground and like show more of the setting, or you could blur the background to focus more on the character. Yeah, I just tried to show more of the situation that's happening in the panel by adding objects that you would find there. Obviously, don't try and overdo it and use it for all of your scenes. Maybe just some important parts. Okay, tip number 3 is control the lighting like a director. Lighting is a huge one because shadows, backlight, dramatic spotlights, these can all change the mood of a scene. Take this panel, for example. I wanted it to be a tense moment, so because it was raining and there was like thunder in the background. Yeah, I wanted to make this panel like stand out more. I made sure that the lighting was more dramatic than the other panels. It's one of my favorite panels that I've drawn. Gosh, I don't know why all of that made me so tired. Okay, tip number 4, control the pacing with panel size and flow. Pacing is basically how fast or slow your reader experiences a moment. You can control that by your panel size, spacing, and your layout. Long vertical panels are great for stretching out time. Small rapid panels, this speeds things up. So for example, you're drawing a fight scene, you can add like the punches or the kicks in these small rapid panels. Think of it as like jump cuts in a movie. All right, white spaces. These spaces create like a pause. It's great for dramatic beats, like when a character realizes something. Tip number 5, color grade like a cinematographer. Color can also control a scene's mood, and here's how you can use it. You can make use of emotional colors like blue and cool tones usually relate to sadness. Red usually is urgency, danger, anger. Yellows, oranges, those are for warmth, and green tints are usually for unease or like something is off kind of vibe. Or you can make use of scene-based palettes. Movies often give each location its own color mood, and you can do the same. Like hospitals, they're usually blue. White, nature is usually warm. Yellows, orange, and it helps the readers feel where they are instead of needing words to describe it. And the last tip, number 6, motion blur and movement. If you want your characters' movements to feel more like action scenes instead of flat drawings, try using some of these tricks. So try adding blurs to parts of your character that are moving. My comic isn't really an action comic, so I rarely use this, but the next one is the one that I use the most. Environmental movement. It's basically where I show movement in things like leaves flying, or my personal favorite, hair whipping in the wind. The idea is to show not just the character moving, but also the world that's creating the movement. So if there's wind blowing, usually the character's hair should also flow in that direction, and everything else will flow in that direction, like leaves or, you know, their clothing. And it makes it more realistic and cinematic. And that's it. Hopefully with these tips, it can help you make your webtoon panels feel more like a movie, if that's what you're going for. Anyways, if you guys have any more tips, feel free to comment them below. We can all learn from each other. Leave a like, it helps me out a lot, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Anyways, that's all from me now. Thank you guys for joining me in the art cave. As always, keep making art and stay inspired. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!